future people. Welcome to Getting Tabled. Welcome to the Jwar Isles. I'm your host, Jason the Bruce, and this is your other host, Brother Bear.
Hey, how you going again?
So, we're totally not recording this on the same night as the last episode that you watched. Definitely not.
You went behind the veil, man. You went behind the veil.
Exactly, yes. No, we definitely didn't do that. Today we are looking at the Temple of Rokan. So, this is your monk faction. Depending on where you get your motivation from this, I mean, one of the obvious ones is Avatar. We've discussed that off camera. Another one that I mentioned, it does have some pretty heavy Dragon Ball vibes. So it's your mystical monk type of vibe that you're getting from this. And if that's the sort of inspiration that you have, this is probably a faction you're going to enjoy a lot. Also, if you like animals, this is a faction that you're going to enjoy a lot.
If you like being truly one with the universe, this is a faction for you. Also, if you like being the overall good guy in an entire in the story, these are the guys that are holding back the demon, the Oni sort of invasion. You know, they're the ones that are praying and keeping that gate closed. So these guys are the true unsung heroes of the Jwar Isles. They have some beautiful models.
Big time. Big time.
Yeah, a lot of range. You can
this
go
is one
two
of
different ways.
This is one of the other factions that I had been looking at when I was looking at them. So
yeah, so they have access. So basically, they're up in their sort of like their temples and sort of fortresses and sort of like meditating and training as they are, but also surrounding them are sort of like villages and everything like that. And if you wanted to go, like super cheap troops, you can take a bunch of like rice farmers, with sort of like pitchforks and sort of like clubs, and then you can have some. You can even take water buffalo, I should say, not bison, and those are really really cool. So you have a lot of flexibility with this faction of what you want to do. They also have like so they're because of obviously of the key that goes around, the spiritual sort of connection. They have statues that come to life. So your lion dog statues, you have access to those. They can fight along your troops. There's a lot of cool, amazing models for this faction. And the starter box set, I bought it. Like it's just their poses are amazing. Yeah, I like the faction a lot. So yeah, they're great.
If you're someone that really enjoyed the movie Shang-Chi that Disney did recently, or Marvel did recently, there's a lot of stuff, not everything, but there's a lot of stuff in that fits in this very nicely. I mean, pure coincidence, but it's all drawing from that, because the Jwar Isles is not just Japanese folklore; it's also the rest of the area as well. So that's hence why you're getting your jade lions and so on and so forth. Well, although that's not exclusively Chinese either, but there is a little bit of crossover there.
Yeah, this is your so this is your Tibetan monks. This is your your Shaolin monks. That's these guys. They're really cool. I haven't seen that movie that you mentioned, the Marvel one, but
I do recommend it. It's very good.
Cool. If you were to start this faction and you don't paint them up like the guys from Avatar, like there's something wrong with you. Like earth, fire, wind, and water. Like you have to do it. You really, really do.
Yeah.
Who did you want to touch on first? I'm really pumped for this one. So
honestly,
who did you want to touch on?
Honestly, I'm just thinking I'll go from start to finish. So I'll start with Saruka. Do you want to go first? I went first last time.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to touch on, because I'm going to touch on my favorite model in this starter set, which is Yim. He is okay. So in the starter box set that you've got two different levels. You've got monk, and then you've got the an unse monk, which is basically your trainee. So you're like your apprentice.
Yeah.
So Yim is a monk. So he's just middle rank, middle tier. He's 17 rice. He is 3 melee. He can boost that for 2 key. It's amazing.
Hmm.
He's got movement 4. He's got 7 health, so he's really, really strong. He has got 3 range. Yeah, okay. He's got 2 key. Sorry, generates 2 key, holds 6, and he can boost that for 2. And you'll see underneath his chin, there's a little symbol which is metal. So he's one of the descendants of the Iron sort of style of fighting. He's got combo attack 1, which is really good. He's got counter strike defense 1. He's got push defense 0. He's got bravery. He's got immune to prone, and he's got kata. So kata allows you to count ones in the melee exchange, which is really cool. He's got fists of iron. So this model's melee weapon gains X plus X melee strength until the current melee exchange is resolved. X cannot be greater than 3. This model may use this key feat only once per activation, which is really, really cool. He also, this model you've got iron arms as well. So this model gains parry 1 and tough 1 until the end of the current activation. So toughness 1 is really makes him quite a durable fighter there. Yeah, for 17 rice, he's great. We should probably touch on with this faction is they have a lot of like they're one with the universe. So like you can move your key around in certain little feats. That's what they're all about. You don't have a lot of access to potent weapons. You don't have a lot of access to armor, but that's what these guys are about. But being able to boost your melee attack for 2 key is amazing for 17 rice.
They do seem to be a little bit more healthy in the wounds. Not over so, but they do seem to have a little bit more in quite a few people. I mean, he has nuts amounts of, but that he's got more than most others.
So it depends. You'll notice that depending on which, how would we put it, which element of the fighters they have. So your earth fighters and your metal fighters generally have a lot more health than say your wind ones. But yeah, you'll see that coming along. Who do you want to pick to talk about?
I'm going to go back to where I said I'll go with our fire monk. So this is Saruka. She will cost you 18 rice. She's got 3 melee. She can boost it for 2. There's another one of your common things that you're going to start noticing. She can move 4. She can boost it for 2. She's got 3 ranged that she can boost for 2. And she generates 2 that she can boost for 2. And she can hold up to 6. I'm not 100% sure why you would actually boost that, though, because all you're going to be doing is spending what you're trying to... Because, I mean, if I've generated 2 already, I then have to spend that to gain 1 back. I don't really see the benefit of that.
Yeah, it has yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. If you want to start banking key, you need to pay that tax. But yeah, it's there as part of that thing. But yeah.
Now, she also fights with the Bujutsu, +1 strength, combo attack 1, sidestep defense nothing. So she would fit in quite well with the Ito. With that sidestep defense. She'd never she'd never go near them without smacking them in the face, but she'd fit in nicely.
But okay, so what you got to remember is with the Temple of Rokai, you can come from anywhere in the Jwar Isles, and you can study and learn. That's the thing. So she could potentially be from the Ito lands, and that's what she wants to do. Who knows? But yeah, sidestep defense. It's just she's all about that flow and movement, which is really, really good.
Which fits in with the fire theme too. She does have bravery, jump up, which is quite nice, and kata. I'm not familiar with kata.
So kata is on the back of her card. You'll see it says, while in a melee exchange, this model can use natural ones to resolve the dice of the outcome. So that adds to the. So normally ones would count as a 0, but they include ones, which is really good.
Yeah. She has an ability called Dance of Dragons, which is going to cost you 3. Until the current activation is complete, this model gains the following ranged attack. Dance of Dragons, which is +2 strength, 2, 4, 6, and it does 2 fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Two
two
fire, one.
fire, 1 tokens, and it's lightweight, so you can move and fire. So that's definitely going to be useful. You still need to be kind of close. I mean, fire damage is certainly nothing to be laughing at.
Yeah, I played against this model in a tournament in the Combat Company tournament against Mateo, and she got a really, really, really good dice roll, and she murdered my bear. I mean, who was already on half wounds, but yeah, she just I was like, oh yeah, okay, and then she's
And that
she's
plus
quite
2
a
strength that's just devastating if it gets through.
yeah, yeah. It does a lot of she's quite a versatile model. Just the fact that she's got that she's got combo attack, which is great.
Yeah.
And also the fact that she's got the range attack is awesome as well. I'm going to go on to our Earthbender in this, which is Haru. He is a lesser monk, so he's an apprentice. He's 11 rice, so he's really cheap. He's got melee 3, boost that for 2. He's got movement 4, he can boost that for 2. He's got range 3. He generates 2 ki. He can hold 4, and he can boost that for 2 as well. He's got bazooka as well. -1 melee strength. He's got sidestep defense. He's immune to prone. He's got Earthen Rampant stance for 2 ki and active. So this model gains parry, and friendly models within 2 inches have cover until the end phase. So basically, with like all your Earthbenders in Avatar, he kicks up the rocks, which you'll see in the model, and he sort of protects his fellow models as well. So parry 1, this all models add +1 to the defense melee exchanges, which is cool. Now, he has a unique effect as an apprentice. So it says, whilst within 2 inches of a friendly non-Usei monk, this model gains kata and may use non-expansional special attacks or defense on this model's melee weapons, as if they were on this model's melee weapons. The cost for the special attack or defense becomes 1. So he basically if he's next to a master or he's next to a regular monk, he becomes even more versatile, which is pretty cool. Yeah. For 11 rice, it's not bad at all.
And the immune to prone is just so useful, especially with the amount of things out there that will be knocking you down. Like that's immune to prone on these things is really, really helpful. I'm going to bring up I assume that's an air symbol, which is for Kira. She will cost you 14 rice, 3 melee. She can boost it for 2. She can move 4, which is boosted for 2. She's got 3 ranged, and she's got 2 generation. She can hold 6. She can also boost it for 2. She's got the same fighting style as the others. No strength bonuses on this one, though. Throw attack 1, push defense 0. She's got bravery, jump up, and kata. I should mention she is also an Onsui monk. Her key ability is dash for 2 ki. So this model gains agile and evasive until the end of the current activation, and may also make the 2-inch move. So she may also make a 2-inch move at the end of its activation. So when this model, for agile, it means that you can ignore enemy models in base to base when declaring an action. And evasive means that you ignore enemy zones of control during movement. So you can just move in and around whatever you want, basically. It's a really annoying feature when you're going against it, but it's really awesome when you have it.
Yeah, she's an airbender. She'll like fly around and avoid. She's really. But in your starter, she's quite good at like leaving a potential dangerous situation to go do something else.
Yeah,
or boost back up another model. Go ahead.
Her unique effects is that if she declares run, she gains Cloud Walk, which basically means that she ignores terrain elements, other models, and zone of control while moving for the duration of the move. So she can just go through anything she wants. For 14 rice, she is really quite something.
Yeah, she's really quite good. I like her a lot, and her stance on the model is also quite awesome. I think I've seen Aang from Avatar do the exact same pose. It's really, really cool. I'm going to touch on Yumi, which, funny enough, means water in Japanese, and she's a water.
I didn't actually realize that.
There you go. She's 10 rice, so she's dirt cheap for water. As you see underneath her, she's got the water symbol. She's got melee 3. She can boost that for 2. Movement 4, boost that for 2. Range 3. She can hold, so she generates 2 keys. She can hold 4, or she can boost that for a 2. She's got -1 strength because she's sort of, she's a kid. She's a trainee. She's got sidestep defense 0. She's not going to be held down. She's got jump up, which is great. She's got frozen mountain fist. So for 2 key and as an instant feat, she's got melee. You'll see in her pose, she's sort of like generating like this ice sort of shard, and she gains sharp 1. After conducting rerolls of melee exchange, you may swap this model's highest defense dice as an attack dice for the same value, which is really, really cool. So sharp, you can reduce the toughness trait by 1 to a minimum of 0. So yeah, she's really, really cool. And she has the same unique effect as Haru. So if she's within 2 inches of a monk, she can use some of their abilities as well. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Yumi, I really like. She's really, really cool. What you'll notice as well with each of the models, if we got them underneath us, they're all sort of different. Like, so for example, she's got ice boots on because, and then whereas if you look at Kira, she's got no shoes on. She's got this sort of the crane sort of stance. She's really, really. They're all like unique and really nice looking models to paint. They're fantastic.
This particular box set, like when it comes to like painting them, I think this is the painting one. Like, if you're only purchasing something that you want to paint, this is the box set that you're buying because this is the one that has the most variety in it. Which is not to say that the other ones aren't pretty. They are, but this has got more variety in the poses and everything. But we don't want you to just paint. We want you to play as well.
Look, if we can just bring up Master. So for example, Master, like this faction's got like a bunch of different things. Like you got Master Akari, which is like the little raccoon dude. He's fantastic. Like he's very small. He's a great looking model. They've got a fighting panda. Funny enough, it isn't called Poe, but
which is the master that you wanted to look at?
Oh, the master. Okay, so the master. A really, really nice model is Master Akari.
Yeah.
Is the little raccoon model. He's got a staff. He looks really quite cool. This guy causes everybody problem. He's a pain in the butt, and I hate him. But at the same time,
this is the one that you had trouble with at the tournament.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere I go, if Master Akari is there, like he's not fun to play against. He's just very hard to hit. He's just such high momentum. But if we were to expand, so we talked about what potentially we could take to expand.
Yes.
This box set does have like a low count of like 5 models. We talked about animals and that sort of models.
Yeah.
I quite like this monk's pose. He's a newer monk. Bring up Taiki for 10 rice. Okay. And he's got this cool sort of like earth stance sort of I think it's actually a monk fighting style is like a monkey sort of pose. But he's got 3 melee, boost that for 2, movement of 4. He's a monk and a villager, I should mention. He's got 2 range. He generates 1 key and he can hold 6. He's got combo attack 2, so it's a bit pricey. He's got sweep attack 2, sidestep defense 1. He's got dodge 1, jump up. He's got this the key ability Ape. So when another friendly monk model is in the pulse ends the activation, you may become the active player again and begin this model's activation. If you do, this model must declare the same action that the monk had the monk gains a non-exceptional special attack or defense from the monk until the action is complete. So he's got that ability, so you can counter with him quite well. So if you move him up and there's a monk within 6, he can then move up and do what he wants to do as well. He's got one of my favorite sort of like little things here, simian trickery. I love it. If Nisser is within 6 inches of this model, choose the following. Place Nisser within base-to-base contact. So in base-to-base contact with this model. If this model is in base-to-base with an enemy model, Nisser must also be placed in base-to-base with at least one enemy model. Place this model in base-to-base contact with Nisser, and if Nisser is in base-to-base contact with an enemy, this model must also be placed within base-to-base contact. And we'll bring up his monkey pal, his little baboon, which is 6 runs. So you're buying this 8 on top, this baboon. Got 2 combat, 5 movement, quite fast, 2 range, 2 ki, but doesn't generate ki. He's got bite of -2 strength, got grapple attack 1, and sidestep defense 0. It's got aloof, it's got coordinated attack with the monk we mentioned, Taiki. He's got dodge 2, aloof, scout of 4 inches, 6 sense, and tiny. This model's unique effect is panic. So models within 3 inches of this model cannot be surprised. So if you move her, I think it is, into the middle, anyone within 3 inches can't be surprised, which makes your monks stronger. Enemy models within base-to-base contact cannot increase the cost of all key feats or special attack and defense by 1. And then this model may be recruited into any warband that takes Taki. I like these 2 for 16 rice. They're fantastic. It's like he's not the strongest monk. But he just helps your warband out a lot. But also the fact that he can run and push buttons, or he can help your other fighters, and he can bring in the ape wherever needed, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth noting. Realistically, this model doesn't cost you 10. It costs you 16, but you're getting 2 models at that price because you are not taking one without the other, because it's completely useless if you don't take both.
I mean, if you wanted to spend 10 rice on a filler and he just runs up and pushes, preys on things or does whatever he needs to do, you can, but it would be silly not to take both of them.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other cool monks as well to take. It's kind of the rule of cool. I just really like this model's stance. He's one of the newer models too, so he looks really cool.
I agree. This is a model that I seriously considered buying just because I wanted to paint it. It's such a the baboon is such a genuinely well sculpted. I mean, you can see the colors. I mean, it's just metal, but you can see where the colors and everything are in the nose. It's sculpted really nicely. The other one that you brought up, which was another suggestion that I liked, was Koji and his pack. We're going to start seeing a bit of a theme with these animals that we're adding. So Koji himself only costs you 9. He's got 2 melee. You can boost it for 2. He moves 5. You can then boost that for 2. He's got 3 ranged. He generates 2 ki. He can boost it for 2. He can hold 4. The fact that he can generate 2 ki when he's only costing you 9 is already nuts.
He's better than some of the other training monks.
Yeah,
in that case.
And this is another Unsui too. He has a bow which doesn't have any strength up or down. He's got sidestep defense 0, which we are already a fan of that ability. He has coordinated attack with the monkeys. He has jump up, leadership for the monkeys, and for 2 within 6 inches, scout 1 within 4 inches, and tiny, because, that's what he is. For 2, he's got the key ability Pack Alpha. This model gains Order Monkey 3 within 6 inches until the end phase. And his unique effect is while within 2 inches of an Unsui monk, this model gains Kata. So this is the same ability that a couple of the others have already had. When this model declares a run action against Cloud Walk, which is also an ability that somebody else has had. So we're starting to see some of these themes come through now. Here's monkeys, cost you 1 point each. This is nuts.
Yeah. You can also take one without him as well. So
yeah, because it's not actually where a lot of the other animals you have to, like there's a gorilla, for example, that you cannot take without its leader. Not that I know why you would, but yeah, these guys you can just go nuts with them. They're a good filler if you need them. He has 1 melee, 5 movement, 1 ranged, 1 key. You can't use it. They have 2 wounds each. You can take up to 3 of them. They have a bite, which is a -2 strength. Sidestep defense 0. It's aloof. Coordinated attack monkey Koji. Dodge 1. Group. Insignificant. Light-footed. Sacrifice monkey Koji within 3 inches. Scout 1 4 inches. Sorry, Scout 0 4 inches. Tiny, because it is. And weak, because it is. Friendly models within 2 inches of this model gain 6th sense, which is insanely helpful. And Koji's pack models may be included in any themed warband that permits Koji. So again, realistically, this is going to cost you at least 10 rice, but realistically, for 1 each, I don't understand why you wouldn't take the full 12 rice and just take all 4 of these models. Are these monkeys going to win you the game? No, but it's going to make it a lot harder for your opponent too.
Yeah, it gives you a lot more activations. They can move up as a group, so you can to be fair, I've seen these guys take out a samurai.
Oh, that's nuts.
Just they went into combat with an exhausted samurai, and they they just they went bananas.
Yeah.
So I was fighting that. I had to say it. But this is the thing is also I've seen them hold up really expensive models for 1 rice. They're just it's just they move into combat with a big super like a bear, right? They move into combat with a giant bear and go, okay, cool, you're not moving, or you've got 1 less activation. Just the way you play these guys, you can do low trickery with. They still count towards zone of control, so you can throw them into zone of controls, and that 1 rice might potentially sway. You've got a lot of option with it, but also it gives you a lot more activation tokens as well.
Yeah, and that's the big thing with things like this is you're going to potentially be able to out activate your opponent. In regards to, I know we've touched on this before, but insignificant. They can't pray and so forth and activate the regions, but they can still hold them. So there is definitely still a place for them in your force. They're not completely useless like other games that use that keyword.
We also talked about other options of what we would take, and I mentioned if you want to boost your numbers, take these options, and we talked about playing with animals and how in your army and how they're quite for something so cheap. In rice, they give you a lot of options. There's also another model I really love the look of. Funny enough, named after Jason Enos, Master Enos. He's a master. He's got 4 melee. He's 20 rice. So if you wanted to take a starter and add him, you could. You can even add Koji and a monkey just to give you the boost to your numbers. He's got 4 melee. Boost that for 2. He's got 4 movement, boost that for 2. He's got 5 health. He's got 4 range, but boost that for 2. He generates 3 ki a turn, and he can hold 10. He can boost that for 2. He's got ki block, combo attack. He's got Go Satsu attack, sidestep defense 0. So he's a master of fighting. He's got bravery, dodge 1, jump up, kata, range defense 1, resistance 1, 6th sense, split attack. Also he has weak. He's got cobra strike. So this model for 2 ki gains lightning reflexes to the end phase. So you're always going to be fighting first if you want to use that. He's got divert energy, so until the end phase, when this model would roll damage for a melee attack, it may instead inflict one wound, ignoring tough, and heal one wound or remove one key token from the enemy model and gain that key feat. So you've got options there of what you want to do.
I quite like that divert energy one. That's really good.
Yeah, as you'll see with
guaranteed damage is always good.
Yeah, especially if you're just gonna go, no, cool, I'm just gonna do this instead. It's quite cool. He's got all the elements. You'll see he's got metal, water, earth, wind, fire, and void, which is pretty cool. He's got Vault. So for 2 key, this model gains Cloud Walk until the end phase. So you can just go, yep, I'm just going to jump over this hill. He's got unique effects. At the start of each turn, this model may inflict 1 wound on any number of lesser kami within 6 inches. If it does, it loses the monk type and gains the ability based on which kami it's wounded. And they've got a bunch there. You got water kami, so you can heal 2 wounds. Fire kami, this model gains fire 2/1 until the end phase. Air kami, this model gains 1 movement and light-footed. Void kami, I don't think we've seen that yet, but this model gains 2 key. Metal kami, this model gains powerful attack 0 until the end phase. Earth kami, this model gains tough 1 until the end phase. So kami are one of those things that you probably want to take with this guy as well.
Yeah. Realistically, you'd be silly not to.
Yeah. And they're all the kami are 8 rice as well, so you could take him, and I would probably take, if I had my pick, I would take a water kami, just because if he gets wounded, you can heal. Or I would take a fire kami, because fire kami are amazing. But yeah, he can do some. Master Enos is really cool, and he's a beautiful model. He's got like the cool. Yeah. He's doing, he's channeling, which is really awesome. There's also another. So this would lean heavily into your points. So he's only 20 rice. But I want to talk about Master Poe. He is 25 rice, but this guy is a tank. He's not the panda, but he's not Kung Fu Panda, but he's amazing. 4 attack, 4 movement, 4 range, boost that for 2. He can boost pretty much everything for 2. Generates 3 key. He's got 7 health. He's got +1 strength. He's got slam attack 0. He's got counter strike defense 0. That's nasty. Sidestep defense 0. He's got cloud walk, fearless. He's immune to prone. He's indomitable 1. So even if he's fighting 2 fighters, he doesn't care. He's got kata, 6th sense, and tough 1. Crash wave strike for 4 key. He gains unblockable 1. In melee is amazing. Perfect defense is also really, really good. So he gains this model gains in purchase of defense until the end of the current activation, and also wasp punch for 2 key. Model gains strong until the end of the current melee. Yeah, it's great. Impervious defense. Let me just bring. Where is that?
While you're looking that up, like realistically, looking at the model and the way that the rules are, in your martial arts movies, there's almost always that guy that is clearly not paying attention, and everybody calls in the master, but what skills does he really have? Until you give him a reason to, and then he absolutely beats the living hell out of the hero when he wasn't expecting. This is the innocent. I don't really care what's going on. I'm not paying attention to you until you give me a reason to, and then I'm going to absolutely floor you. It's a trope in martial arts movies, but it's a trope that's always worked very well, and I think this is the perfect way to have done it on the tabletop. It works. It feels so much like that character, and it's sculpted like they quite always are as well. They've done a really good job.
So if you look on this model, he's sort of like doing this sort of like delicate sort of like pose, and he's got butterflies on him and everything like that. He's one with the universe. He's great. Impervious defense. So During the model's melee exchange, the enemy model must remove the highest attack die roll before the final attack result has been calculated. It's
that's nasty.
Yeah, it's real. It's really, really nasty.
Oh, no wonder it costs 3.
Mm-hmm. There's also an ability which is even worse, which is Counter-Strike defense. So this is what also makes him nasty as well, because I've come across him and I've thrown 2 massive samurai. I've thrown 38 rice at him just to get him out of the zone. It was just tough. The Counter-Strike defensive. If this defense is successful and the attacker has allocated at least 1 die in attack, then deduct 2 from that successful level of defense. If this successful level is 0 or greater, make a damage roll against the attacker using the modified success level of the defense. So if you put in any attack on him and he does Counter-Strike defense, this special attack is god tier. It's super dangerous. It's
so if you want to know what model is the must own for this faction, you've just seen it. Look, I'd probably argue that realistically you need to own all of the masters, but for different reasons. You're not going to use all of them, obviously, but I think this is probably the best of them.
So he's for 25 rice. He's amazing. He's a very potent fighter, Master Poe. Master Enos also has got an ability which is Goku. Sorry, I should have touched on it when we were on him. I got excited because I was thinking of Master Poe. Gosatsu attack. So this is amazing. This ability for Master Enos. So if the attack is successful, remove the defender and the attacker from the game. If the enemy model has any exceptional attack, then this attack, it has no effect. So Master Enos basically gets charged by something massive, like, say, the big giant Oni, which is holding the Torii Gate, which is on a 50 mil base. He goes, nah, Control-Alt-Delete. We're both removed from the game. So if you can... This attack is nasty. It's like your ace in the hole. It's just amazing. That's why I wanted to include Enos, because he's got that ability. So if you're playing against somebody and you're getting trumped, Master Enos can go, I'm just going to delete you. You remove Master Enos as well. But so
that's good. Nasty. That's so nasty. Yeah.
See, the Masters are nasty for different reasons. You've got the turtle riding one as well. I can't remember his name. Who's good at, he sort of like channels ki around and throws it around. But yeah, you've got some potent stuff in there. Yeah. You can take what will happen is the more you play Bushido, you'll learn your opponent's sort of stuff, and you'll learn what's got what. So generally, and if you don't, there's things that you want to avoid, like combo attack, Counter-Strike defense. You just avoid it because it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
Like they're really, really good.
Yeah. This is one of those factions where, like, we've definitely got a strong place on where to start here. Like, the list is essentially you're taking everything from your initial box set, and then we were adding Koji and his monkeys, Taiki and his baboon, and that took you up to 99 points. And you're out activating almost anything on the table.
Or we said you take Master Enos and a Fire Carmine, you got two rice.
Yeah. You can then play around with.
Yeah. You still got a lot of models there, but it's great.
There's certain factions in this game that, because they've been there from the start, have a lot more options. This is another one of those. Temple of Rokan are not the easiest faction to play, but they're far from the hardest. They're kind of in the middle range there somewhere as far as complexity is concerned.
Yeah, and look, I mean...
there's some really fun stuff here that you can have fun with. It's just a matter of you need to get your head around Like with the Ito, how you have to get your head around how the poison and the sidestep defense works. These guys have a few things that once you get the basics, you'll be fine.
And that's the thing is, I don't want to turn anyone off. If you like these guys, go for it. But
Yeah.
just you got to read your cards. You got to learn what you want to do. And but yeah, you're to be fair, you're not. It's you're going to be spoiled for choice, and like you've got so many options, and it's if you can go, as I mentioned before in the very beginning, you can go all villages if you wanted to, and take like two massive water buffalo models, and just like put down heaps of like traps and snares for against your opponent, which is just going to ruin their day. Or you can go, if you wanted to, you can go master heavy and take as many masters as you want. I think I went against master. Yeah, I think I played a list where he had the giant silverback. You can take two silverback if you want to, as well as Akio, which is the little girl who they protect. Yeah, you could do a lot. There's a lot of options. If you want to take half human, half animal creatures, like a there's an orangutan. There's an orangutan that's got a club. If you want to take a panda which has got, who looks like at the end of Kung Fu Panda 3, he looks like Poe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could take. There's also a half fox samurai sort of character. There's a lady there that turns into a fox. Yeah, this faction's got a lot of options. You can go in any, and then because they've been around for so long, yeah, you have a lot of options to play with. Yeah, but like they are very rules heavy. There's a lot of things you need to read and sort of learn. You might take a few sort of games where you're losing a lot, but then once you sort of overcome those, you can go, okay, I understand what the is about. You know, you'll need to play a few games, but look, if you want to do this faction, it's the rule of cool, really. You can do a lot of things.
When it comes to games where there's certain factions that take... And again, I'm not saying that this is the hardest faction in the game. They're far from it. But when it comes to games where there's those 2 or 3 factions that have a learning curve, most people that have played those armies will tell you that it was worth learning. This is definitely one of those that you could have a lot of fun with. I tend to have a habit of accidentally picking these factions sometimes. I managed to kind of avoid it with Bushido because I didn't buy it knowing what the rules were. I just bought it because I like the snake guys. That's the reason that I bought it. But once you get over that hurdle of learning how they work, it's always worth it, because then you can use the fact that your opponent doesn't know how they work to really annoy them in ways that there's like, and I'm not talking, oh, this isn't fair. It's just ways to annoy them because they have to learn how to counter you now. That was easy to counter you to begin with because you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, like your weaknesses are you don't have armor, but like
at all.
Things, at all. Like, but like you can go very special ability heavy if you really wanted to, and you can. There's a lot of room for play. I really like the theme for this one, which is called Righteous Warriors. So this is whilst within 3 inches of a friendly monk, monk models gain resistance 1, which is really good. So at the start phase, only one friendly monk gains channel 3, 3 inches, and leech 3 within 3. Before deployment, you may swap any lesser Kami models for any other permitted lesser Kami models included in Ronin Lesser Kami. So if you take a fire Kami, if you have a fire Kami, and you're like, no, I'm coming across something that's is going to do a lot of like poison or something like that. You can take a water Kami and you can swap it in and go, oh, I want that heal ability. Or if you got somebody who's going to have a lot of fast movement, you can take a rock Kami and do grapple and hold those models. So Righteous Warriors is a really good theme. And then the other one, which is quite nice, which sort of links into like the earth, air, fire bending, is in Initiation, the theme, which comes in the starter set, I believe. It is, so if this warband has at least one instance of each of the earth, water, metal, wind, or fire across all friendly monks, models in play all monks gain +1 key in the starting phase,
Yeah.
and then you can so monks, but that's exclusion of the void. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, these guys have a lot of things to go with, and like I said, like, there's definitely going to be if you're the sort of person that has to sit down and read everything and go through all of the rules before you start to play, these are the sort of factions that you're going to want to get into, because this is where you will get that from.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, all of the factions have their great benefits, but there's definitely some rewards here if you want to go hunting for them.
Yeah, or if you like really beautiful models that you want to paint up and are a joy to paint, this is the faction for you.
Part of me wants to buy just all of the apes. No, even if that was never to go onto a table, I just kind of want to own them. But I don't need more models at this stage. So let's end this video there. The temple. The temple is definitely one of the factions that they are one of the popular factions, and there's a reason for it. Largely because the models are gorgeous, but there's a lot of reward there if you want to go hunting for them, which I know I've said 4 or 5 times now. But if you're not the sort of if you're the sort of person that tends to go for the simple thing because you know it's going to be easy, give one of these types of factions a go at one point, because you might surprise yourself.
Yeah, a similar other faction to something that's not really easy would also be, I reckon Shiho, which is one of the newer factions.
Yeah.
Also ninjas. Ninjas would be very elitist, but they've got so many tricks and tools up their sleeves that they, and under their belts that they're quite potent. Like, it depends on how you want to play. But look, if you like these models and want to go from the starter, there's heaps of options that you can take. We just recommended like a couple, just because we like the models, or we liked of what they do. As a large group of like monkeys charging towards something, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of wiggle and playroom with this faction.
Definitely.
But that's what you want. You want options, right?
Options are a good thing. Options are always a good thing, especially in games like this. But in saying that, we're going to leave this one there, and next time we will come to you with another one. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time,